Hello everyone. Hi, I'm Jess if you are new here, and today I'm going to be talking about cacti. Mostly just like the care of them, how I look after mine. I've done some care videos before, and I was actually thinking the other day I was repotting my cactus and thought it'd be good to do a little care video. They're super easy to look after, and they're like, if you want to get into plants, they're like so easy, and so they're just great for beginners. And as well, you get so many cool ones. They're also interesting. I used to be really into cacti back in the day when I first got into plants. I was all about cactus and succulents and euphorbia. That was my whole collection. I used to have so many. And then over the years, I got more into jungle plants, and slowly my collection has kind of deteriorated. But I found my love again for them, and I really want to expand my collection of cactus because you get such cool and unique ones. And I feel like they don't get the credit that they deserve because they truly are beautiful. So to start off with, we are going to talk about watering. So watering, obviously with cactus, they are desert plants. So I let mine completely dry out between watering, completely dry out. And sometimes I'll even let them get to the point where they're physically showing me that they need water. So if they're wrinkling, stuff like that. So this is in the summer. That could be, obviously I'm in the UK and English summer can be very unpredictable. So last summer I was in a flat and it was so hot and they dried out a lot quicker, whereas here, this summer has not been as warm, so I've not been watering them as much. I probably should have watered them a bit more than I had, but that's fine. They are great for that. You can forget to water them and they will bounce back. Through the winter time, I don't water them really. I probably water them once a month. I've got this really big one here. This guy, I didn't water the whole of winter because they just don't need it. They're not growing. So watering is so easy. That is it. This video is probably going to be quite short because they're just so easy to care for. So with watering comes fertiliser. So I fertilise mine the same as all my other ones. I don't use any fancy fertilisers. I use the same as what I use on all my other plants, all my jungle plants, all my foliage, all of it. So I use liquid gold leaf, and I'll water it the same as all my other plants. So fertilise it the same as all my other plants. So I will just fertilise every two to three waterings through the winter. Obviously I don't fertilise, they're not growing and not really watering them anyway, so that's fine. With sunlight, so my cactus have been moving around a lot. They've been in lots of different places and they do so well in a window. So really bright light, even direct light, they don't mind. Obviously they're desert plants. You have to be careful sometimes, like if it's going to be a heat wave, maybe move them away because they might get scorched. Mine have all been absolutely fine. I just make sure I rotate them so they're getting direct sun on all sides, so it's not just one side getting absolutely scorched. This large one at the moment is not getting any direct sunlight, but it is in bright indirect light, and it's not actually growing as much as it used to. So I used to have it in a window with bright direct sunlight on it. It was there for quite a few years and it loved it, and it just kept putting out new growth and it just went mad. So this guy was probably from the floor to about here. So he was about this big when I bought him, and now he's about as tall as me. The last 2 years he's not really grown just because he's not in all the places I've lived. He's just not had the space to get direct sunlight. I'm hoping next time I move I can give him a really nice sunny spot, but at the moment I don't mind so much because he isn't growing, because he's not getting that bright light. he's here now, but I've moved him from the video. All of the others that I have and some others I've got upstairs, they're all in the window, so they get direct sunlight. Not for the whole day, they get it either in the morning or in the evening when the sun's out. It is the morning here, it is around 8 AM, so we've got the morning sun coming in on this side, and on the other side of the house you get it from about 3 for a couple of hours, so it's quite nice. They get bright light, but it's not for too long. Just keep that in mind, so that they're not in a south-facing window and they are getting scorched all day. I've never had that. I've never had a window that's south-facing and you get sun all day. So if you want to try that out, try it, but just make sure you're keeping an eye on them at the same time. And if you do see any signs of them struggling, then just make sure you move them. So with potting them up. So again, you want a light airy mix. When I had a lot more, I used to mix up my own like cactus soil, so I'd mix up my own grit and sand and all of that. Perlite, mix it all together, but I don't have as big of a collection anymore, so now I just use one of those general purpose cactus and succulent mixes and just add extra perlite, which is fine. They don't mind that at all. That's great. And it's the same again. I don't repot my cactus as often as I would my other plants. They don't seem to grow their root systems that much, and they quite like being pot bound. So sometimes I'll leave it a whole year, 2 years. I mean, this one's probably been about 3 or 4 at this point, and he's doing absolutely fine. It's probably also a factor of why he stopped growing. As I said, I'm fine with that. He's gonna get too big soon and we're not gonna be able to like transport him whenever we move and stuff. So yeah, potting up is really easy. Again, they're just so easy to care for. That is all I have to say about potting mix. Just make sure that it's got good drainage so that they're not sitting in water, because otherwise they will rot. I've learnt the hard way when I first started getting into them. I was watering them too much and they literally just go to mush. And there's no coming back from that. As soon as they start going mushy, that's it. It's not like normal plants where the roots will rot. It starts like rotting up the actual plant and you really don't want that. I would just make sure you've got a very good draining potting medium. So I think the last thing to add is propagating. So I've propagated them a lot over the years. They're really easy. There's different methods depending on what you're using, but all in all, you can just cut them straight off, like just cut the top off of them, let them callus over. I always dip mine in a bit of ground cinnamon. It acts as a bit of a barrier and anti-fungicide, so it avoids them rotting, and it is also a bit of a rooting hormone, so it will help them root. So I would just leave that overnight or for a couple of hours to callus over, and then you can just pot it straight up in the soil and just wait for it to root. It's that simple. On ones like this, where it's got arms coming off, you can just cut it at the arm, again, let it callus over, put it in a bit of cinnamon, pop it in a pot, and they root so easy, so you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you don't leave the soil too, you want it to be a little bit damp, but a little bit moist, but not wet all the time, because otherwise that will encourage them to rot, and obviously you don't want that. Another way of propagating, it's kind of a way of propagating. I have never done it, but I have seen a lot of videos of people doing it, and it's a thing called grafting. So you can, if you wanted to add 2 plants to one, you would cut both of them, and then you can basically swap the tops of them over, and you just put them on. You can use string or tape them on to the top of the other cactus, if that makes any sense, and they will grow back into each other, bond back into the other one, and they will grow. So that is it for this video. I knew it was going to be really short because they are so easy to care for. If you're wanting to get into them, I would 100% recommend it. They're so easy to care for and you can get some really, really cool ones. I'm really hoping on expanding my collection over the next few months and getting some really cool and unique ones. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing to see more of my content. And also go over to my Instagram for more content from me and behind the scenes and all that jazz. Thank you guys. Bye.